Hello, beautiful, smart children of God. For those that are educated, welcome to this session or another video, or however you would like to call it. It could be called as a voice recorder or however. So, okay. And yet, once more, I'm a bit sleepy. There's a rough weather going around many states, many countries, many capitals, you name it. So for this night's devotion, it will be teach me your paths. Now, if all of you are educated enough and not sleeping like the rest of the flock that are flocking by their own phones and not their heads, and not connecting their head towards their heart and their soul, that's what gets you mostly educated. Now, again, you don't have to listen to me, but look around very carefully. Strange things are happening already. As strange as they are, but they are real. You cannot escape the reality if you just sit in a closet and stand idly by and do nothing about it. So, let me tell you what's yet to come. So, are you all gonna be panicking when all this stuff unfolds? Or are you gonna stand up and do the right thing? Now, if you fight, I can't say that there will be a great reward, but you'll have to find out for yourselves. And I can't say when God is gonna return, because I do not know the day or the hour. Take heed that you don't be deceived by any other liars or social media thugs, because there's a lot that's spreading around. One glance at the one channel and the other, you're just going back and forth. You're welcome to be here that we actually tell the truth, not hiding anything from you. The media was designed to distract you. That's one of the demon's plots and schemes. They're planting their own seeds, so to say. And their seeds are made of parasites. While God's seed is made of life and flourishing, energy. Love God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. For there is only one God, there are no others. There is no Buddha. For people just bow down to statues, make false idols. Take a closer look. They're just statues. Perhaps there are memories of them being in the world. That's why we call it a memorial. Memorial Day is to remember for those that have passed away. That's why God has worded in many other ways and many analogies of words that cycle through human mind and transmit information through various frequencies and resonating with each other. Rather it be positive, sometimes it will be negative. Now, I need to speak up on this. Since it's getting closer, even closer and closer. Ugh. I don't know how long my brain can take it, take the strain. It is not a joke. Jesus did die for us all, especially a filth like me, who has sinned for generations. And God has finally brought me into this world to bring this message to everyone. Do not repeat the same mistakes that you have been doing. Change your habits, change your patterns, so the enemy will not keep track of you. And so it goes for them to call us the enemy too. See how it all works? All sources bounce back to one source. So here's another curious question that I figured out, I believe, yesterday, as I was writing and was speaking to different kinds of people. So think about this. There is not almost 9 billion people. You think that there are not many possibilities if there are different types of faces and different type of souls? You're sadly mistaken. Take a good look how different people are. And not only that, there's so many disguises and there's so many other things that most of the time you're too perplexed or distracted throughout your day that you won't even notice or be aware of. There are a lot more things exist that within your sights than you can ever imagine. For example, there can be secret societies, there can be ninjas, there can be, you name it, bioweapons, and you probably, most of you, have been aware of. Whoever is going to pop in to this channel, you'll be well versed and informed. Prepare now. Prepare for any situations, any stakes, because phones, not even the government can save you from what's yet to come. Not President Trump, nobody, no presidency is gonna save you. God and God alone, because it's the different type of understanding that you must tune into. That's a different, unfathomable, unfathomable understanding and the power that is beyond human mind to comprehend. That's why God has put the book in front of your hands and face so you can understand at least the tip of the iceberg or a sliver of it. Of course, as human beings, we're fragile and we can only take in so much. That's why the beautiful mighty king of all eternity that holds all the power, and that's where most excess stress and all the things that go about, it goes right towards him. So, and that is why he took the cross for us all. He's dealing with all those challenges. He is very powerful and eternal, which is why some people would not even dare to understand or even take a glimpse of what God is facing. Not only he's taking care of the universe, the stars, the water, the cells, the molecules, the heartbeats, every single trinket in detail. That is why he is called God. And for those that are blasphemers out there, what a bunch of fools you are. You're overstepping the boundaries. For your sakes, I would keep your mouth shut. And forgive me, this is how how normal me sounds like. Way more clear, definitely respectful. And part of me for being so direct or gruesome. But sometimes this is the way to address things. The reason why I decided to make some videos is because I wanted the world to know how it is to be honest with others. It makes a huge life of a difference. And you can gain a deeper understanding of many other things. Like, for example, you can understand your origin, which means uh, how you were born. For example, if you take a look at your hand and there are certain stitchings on your fingers, that should tell you that we weren't made just out of our biological chemicals. It takes a beautiful eternal artist to value something. Just like you have a value of liking something like food items or You treat something that is of a value, right? If there is no value, then yeah, w- a lot of people will ask, what's the point even being here? Oh, really? Well, the value of pain is that you can overcome it and use it as a pushing force instead of as a negative. So take the encouragement of this video, because there are not many decent people like us out there who are willing to learn and willing to sacrifice a lot more than most people can ever imagine, because some people are like seriously, uh I wouldn't say lucky, but are privileged to have what they have, and yet sometimes they're even not even satisfied with it. So I want to also encourage many other people that, as a guy, and towards my understanding why I was born in a poor family, um, it's for God to show what you can do in the midst of poverty. And again, we all have different gifts and abilities to do things. That's why we need God. Without God, there wouldn't be anything existing. That's why Jesus was saying he is the light of the world, because he is the life giver, not the taker. Pardon me, I have a little kitten that I'm raising. It's a little rescue. So, anyways, be aware how you were born and how you're not just sack of flesh. You have a soul, which means that the soul is what the part that drives you to certain things. That's why when people say that you have electric circuits inside your brain, it's like a brain link or brain waves. That's because it's a source of a light. Just like you need light to see and dark, so to say, to sleep. Hey, Salada, get out of there. Okay. You better not be messing with a lot of stuff. Ugh, that might harm her. For example, a lot of you hold a very dear value of children. For a lot of women, this is an obsession for some reason. Well, I kind of get it. Why? Because they want to see how the child will grow and develop, how their characteristics will mature, and so on, and what kind of human being they will become. That's pretty much understandable. But you cannot just be going to a lot of guys and just sleeping with them the whole time. There are boundaries for a reason. That is why I keep my boundaries. Salada. Salada. Hmm. Ah, little troublemaker. So, right now, people are so much fixated on whatever they're fixated on. And all this cursing nonsense. At least throughout life and through many jobs, maybe you'll find interesting people, so to say, maybe an aggressive type or psycho types or elusive types. There are many kinds of people that you will find and learn many lessons from. Okay. Well, she just learned how to do that. Yeah, that cat is gonna be a troublemaker when she grows up. This place might not even survive. Because normally cats are filled with bombardment. Barbarment. Barbarding. Yeah, barbarding things. Okay, so let's continue and see how our life progresses. Salada, come here. Come here. Okay. By the way, I will not brag or take pride with anything at all. In fact, I don't even know what that word is sometimes. A lot of Japan culture uses that word a lot, but I don't have the luxury for pride. Because when somebody says, I'm proud of this and that, sometimes I do get confused. I'm like, what are you even proud of if there is no meaning or reason behind it? There's got to be a reason and a force that pushes you forward in order for you to be proud of something. For example, if somebody praises me, I despise it. For another example, and when they say, "Oh, I like your hat," I'm like, I'm dead silent. I will not even look at you or talk to you. So, what I'm grateful for is of God's eternal existence and the way that He has designed me to share the truth without any hesitation. It's that it's at the point of brink of collapse, that when people are truly panicked. And man, I have yet to meet psychotic people. And I'm sure, I don't doubt it. They're the worst of the worst, possibly worse than inmates. But it's just, with us humans, is just sheer numbers of overwhelming numbers. That's what it is. Brace for the air conditioner turning on, by the way. So let's go ahead and read, and I can throw in some more details. Teach me your paths, a psalm of David. Unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. O my God, I trust in thee. You see, this phrase people use as a cursing too, which I also dislike sometimes. But since I'm a human, I cannot do anything about it. Otherwise, I will get in deep, deep trouble. I trust in thee. Let me not be ashamed. Let not mine enemies triumph over me. Yea, let none that wait on thee be ashamed. Let them be ashamed which transgress without cause. Shew me thy ways, O Lord, to teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth, and teach me, for thou art the God of my salvation. On thee do I wait all the day long. Or, I. My bad, I'm used to extending words and sentences. Since I read a lot. I read a lot. On thee do I wait all the day. Remember, O Lord, thy tender mercies and thy loving kindness, for they have been ever of old. Remember not the sins of my youth, nor my transgressions, according to thy mercy. Remember thou me for thy goodness' sake, O Lord. Good and upright is their Lord, therefore will he teach sinners in the way. The meek will he guide in judgment, and the meek will he teach his way. Oh, the paths of the Lord are mercy and truth unto such as keep his covenants and his testimonies. For thy name's sake, O Lord, pardon mine iniquity, for it is great. But man is he that feareth the Lord. Him shall he teach in a way that he shall choose. His soul shall dwell at ease, and his seed shall inherit the earth. The secret of the Lord is with them that fear him, and he will shew them his covenant. Mine eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he shall pluck my feet out of the net. Turn thee unto me, and have mercy upon me, for I am desolate and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. O bring thou me out of my distresses. Look upon mine affliction and my pain, and forgive all my sins. Consider mine enemies, for they are many, and they hate me with cruel hatred. O keep my soul and deliver me, let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in thee. Let integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait on thee. Redeem Israel, O God, out of all his troubles.
When the believer has begun with trembling feet to walk in the way of the Lord, he asks to be still led onward, like a little child upheld by its parents' helping hand. Wasn't I speaking of children at the beginning of this video? This is no coincidence. It all aligns, by the way. Aligns with the words that you're speaking today and right now, because all the words that you utter are taught in school and are from the Bible. People just twist your reality a bit in order to say, oh, that's kind of different. Is it? Oh, you have not seen a pure, fresh difference just yet, because the Lord's truth is a lot more profound. Okay. When the believer has begun with a trembling feet to walk in the way of the Lord, he asks to be still led onward like a little child upheld by its parents' helping hand, and he craves to be further instructed in the alphabet of truth. Experimental teaching is the burden of this prayer. David knew much, but he felt his ignorance and desired to be still in the Lord's school. 4 times over in 2 verses he applies for a scholarship in the College of Grace. It were well for many professors if, instead of following their own devices and cutting out new paths of thought for themselves, what did I just talk about at the beginning of the video? Thoughts, frequencies, wavelengths, patterns. And we'll speak of the bloodstream in a moment. Oh, emotions. That's gonna be the topic. Own devices and cutting out new paths of thought for themselves. They would inquire for the good old ways of God's own truth and beseech the Holy Ghost to give them sanctified understanding and teachable spirits. For thou art the God of my salvation. The 3-1 Jehovah is the author and perfecter of salvation to his people. Reader, is he the God of your salvation? Do you find in the Father's election, in the Son's atonement, and in the Spirit's quickening all the grounds of your eternal hopes? If so, you may use this as an argument for obtaining further blessings. If the Lord has ordained to save you, surely he will not refuse to instruct you in his ways. It is a happy thing when we can address the Lord with the confidence which David here manifests. It gives us great power in prayer and comfort in trial. On thee do I wait all the day. Patience is the fair handmaid and daughter of faith. We cheerfully wait when we are certain that we shall not wait in vain. It is our duty and our privilege to wait upon the Lord in service, in worship, and expectancy, and trust. All the days of our life, our faith will be tried faith. And if it be of the true kind, it will bear continued trial without yielding. We shall not grow weary of waiting upon God if we remember how long and how graciously He once waited for us. Remember that. Man, these psalms keep on popping up. It's pretty incredible. This could be also another sign how close God is getting towards this planet. Things are gonna get quite hasty. Whew. I cannot say, but there are gonna be more violence spreading around. There are gonna be more shoplifters and so on. It is the work of Satan for sure, pulling the strings behind the scenes. Whoever he's disguised as, but we as human beings, we cannot utterly identify exactly, but there might be a slight identification if you listen for the vocal cords and the voice. Perhaps maybe you'll notice something. So, anyways, think about this. All of this that we have inside our flesh, all the emotions, all the thoughts, think about how intricate and complex and wonderful God has made it to be when you actually gain control of it. But it does not make you king of anything. Once again, I'm not here for the views, but when you're viewing, that helps you and anyone around you. I would say it in that way instead of the people that will say, "Oh, subscribe to this channel." Although to you it will help if you recommend to someone, "Hey, I found this guy," and so on and so on. But that is up to you because that will make a huge difference in your life and it will impact your inside of your soul in order to for you to grow and maybe recommendations to others. But again, don't repeat the same words because that will lead to a certain habits and patterns. Because you will say, "Hey, I found this YouTuber," because there are lots of channels right now. Everyone wants to be something. Don't you want to be a true, cool, genuine self that God has made you to be instead of being someone else? Look at the results. What's happening out there, out in cities and public. What people are turning into without any knowledge of any school or any education, without using their eyes or ears like God has designed for you to use. You gotta have a deeper rooted understanding of God before you start discovering other life sources. And the journey does start with you praying for understanding and discernment. And then once you read the Bible and then continue praying, those two things collide together. And man, it makes a huge difference. It is truly not about the money. Because I tell you this, that anything that humans build, it contains 99% of a flaw. And that 1% is God, who makes a huge difference. Have you all took a look at some lowly, well, I don't want to be harsh, but I will call them that, like low stage people, I will call them. And they're the huge difference makers. And that's how Jesus was. He was not known. He was despised and rejected. He was hated, beaten, ridiculed. And then once he met a few people, then things got a little better, but also out of hand. Even though he was showing miracles, they still did not believe. That's how people's minds are built these days. They don't believe in magic. They only believe in their own gimmicks. Do you know why we call him Majesty? Because he contains the magic and the power. And it's just not, it isn't just magic, exactly. There's a lot deeper meaning for it. Then how do you explain the existence of everything else around you? At the end of the day, when you're so overwhelmed, instead of trying to figure it out, you just shove it aside. But once you figure it out, oh, it will blow you away. I'm just fascinated with God. In fact, fascinated is not the word. Infatuated. I just simply cannot let go of God. I may have been the hideous child on this earth at the ancient times. And I was cast away, laid aside. Until that one faithful moment. Faithful and fateful. By the way, God is in control of fate. Faithful and fateful moment. When God was saying, alrighty, child, you have been here long enough. I'm going to send you on a certain duty or task and a mission. Please do diligence that you do well. That's listening to instructions and obeying the king who has actually given you life. So there is also a reason to having a privilege and to actually be so grateful that you cannot even help yourself but oblige by that task. There are a lot of people that I do not understand in this lifetime. They ask such childish questions. Why this, why that, instead of actually being adults and finding meaning and understanding and discovering things on their own. Yes, we are fragile, but Are you gonna suck it up and be an adult, or are you gonna be a whiny, sobby, whoever you are, creep, pervert, however ladies describe men these days? And by the way, my life will not last for long, because sooner or later, Father will take my life and take my soul somewhere that I actually do not know, but I do recognize that I'll be in a pretty decent place in his hands, not my own. I cannot rescue myself, because there are a lot more tougher forces that the Bible actually warns me about that would love to devour me or get rid of me and vaporize me. Trust me, I ain't the perfect child down here. As much as the level of suffering that people have caused to each other throughout generations, and that's what God is pointing out. This is not me. This is what you humans have developed and done to yourselves. For he stepped aside to show you the light work of things. And people say, oh, why doesn't he not come? That's a childish question, by the way. Because he is pure, he is holy. Can you not understand that if he were to come down with his strength and glory, you would not, none of us would able to withstand it. He holds the universe at the palm of his hands. What we describe as consciousness or something like that. Sometimes you just gotta take a good closer look. Either if it's an illusion or something like that. Um, I did describe when you go to deserts and when you overheat, sometimes you see an illusion of an oasis. But is that the real oasis, or is that what your eyes are seeing? They're seeing things. It's like with a blindfold. You put the blindfold on, or it. Let's make an example of an enemy putting a blindfold on you, while God walks up to you and puts the blindfold off so you can see better. It's just like with the blind that he has healed. It's like some dirt that was within their eyes that made them blind, and he has cleared it up. But in some cases, even the blind people can see a lot more clearly than most. I love truth. It resonates with my body. No, the Bible sometimes describes because I was born like the king, but I'm definitely not like him. I don't perform any miracles. I bear very little strength. While God actually gives me strength in order to keep going. Otherwise, I would have been not alive today. Seriously. That's how powerful our God is. He handles the clouds, the sky, the rain, the stars, and He has given the blueprints for everyone to have a house and a shelter in. Otherwise, we would have been all homeless. A place that we can actually call home, huh? That's an interesting thing. Also, we would have been just hiding under the trees. Although sometimes those trees, if they get struck by lightning, they will fall on people. Oh man, and I got a tough journey coming up. As many angels would also warn people, you better be prepared. Otherwise, there is a tough journey coming up. It's always an effort down here. With God and God's ways, oh my goodness. It is way more magnificent and beautiful. It is way more astounding about and abundant, freshly eternal. In fact, we all should be grateful that God exists. For many trillions of reasons. Yes, many people will say and bicker about and cuss me out and this and that and say, oh, I disagree. When they look at their own arrogance and how great they are, how they own a car and how they proud they are. Yeah, pride. Pride is the big issue. Because they will always boast about themselves or something else. Boasting means bragging in English sense. This is the realistically explaining the Bible, how people should be behaving, not quoting the Bible. Explaining the science, the physiology, and all the things, all the factors combined together. That's why I sometimes tweak things and talk randomly so it can actually move along with your gears, so to say. And pardon me again, whenever you get the chance, this video will be long because I have a lot of information to reveal. Whoever you are and whoever is watching, please reveal and share this towards your family or friends. Because it will be a life changer and sometimes will save your life. Possibly your soul's life, too. Yes, the words may be the same, although the dialogue that we are building, it leads to a certain pathway. That's what makes the human minds and the rest of the things fascinating. Although you don't want to go too deep and too obsessed with all the things that you have. For example, sometimes things can easily end. Also, for the continuation of the discussion of the example, I was gonna say, let's say there was a hurricane. In fact, in several states right now. It can easily destroy all things that you have acquired and have earned throughout your life. And then you have to start over again. Unless you're a wise child and you can actually live on your own off the grid and without any cities. That's the true test of your survival skills. Obviously, people are capable of it, and there are thousands and possibly billions now, depending on their mind development. Every soldier does understand this. Either you're a man or a woman. To me, it's quite obvious which is which. There's no confusion here. There are no other genders, regardless of what they are trying to change up. The incentive or motivation that they're trying to transform you into something that you're not. As Frank Turk described, it's like a dysphoria, which is like a mind manipulation slash disease. That they're so twisted that they're tricked to comply towards something. To do changes towards their physiology and intellectual thinking. I gotta say, this world has interesting etiquette of words that they use, which makes you wonder it's tech based. By the way, to me, AI is not a surprise because the Bible talks about it. If you're smart enough, you can catch the Bible phrase that will say at some point at the uh was it Esther? I think it's a little bit at the beginning of Esther, or at the beginning of Genesis, possibly. So Genesis, there is also was it Joshua or Joseph? Some of those. It will say there will be a king of AI. And guess who owns most of the things? Elon Musk. A lot of tech companies. In fact, I did a little bit more digging about him. And as the information matches, he used to be a tech nerd, so no wonder he took over a lot of companies. So it makes you wonder who made this search engine. Now, of course, there are other connections besides him. For example, many other behind the scenes people have dug up secret documents of Tesla, Nikola Tesla. So they used his research in order to develop things that you see right now. For example, the Tesla coil. So somewhere out there, there was a brain nerd that took, well, I wouldn't say supposedly, but did steal Nikola Tesla's research and started developing things the way they are right now. For example, the electrical switches that you have in your houses or apartments or wherever you are. Those are all blueprints and copies of the previous people that were here. Which is why it all actually started at Jerusalem and then it spread through the Middle East and so on. I think Middle East they describe as Europe and other things, other countries. Now, with God, everything is out in the open. So, to be honest, I don't know who in the right mind thought that it was good idea to rebel against God, but apparently, a certain someone just wanted more power, just wanted to be above all else. But guess what? God has honor. So, which means with his eternal honor, he deserved that spot. He showed humility and kindness, and he has geniusly developed many other things. It's way beyond actually genius. There is no words to describe of his eternal knowledge. He's the life giver. And for all of you to understand that, you'll have to um, not take your life. Please don't do that. But only patiently wait until the right moment. Read the Bible, gain more wisdom and counsel from God. Um, Pray with sincere heart, with sincerity, not just to be like oh pretendy type of vibe that most people are doing right now and are mockers. In my mind, I always say they will answer for their deeds and words. Their mockeries. They will have to take in account of their transgressions. Transgressions. Oh, that is an amazing word to just split and describe. Let's try to divide it, for example. Transgression. Does it sound like any similar word? Aggression. And trans sounds like transforming to make it something else. I guess I get it why most people don't even dare to ask me out. And I did ask God to keep the women away from me. So, and there is the sense of me being a little bit stupid smart. Let's say that, because I can be stupid and a lot more smarter than some. But I do not count myself as a great person. So, it's to keep the pride away. And also, the reason why I was designed to be poor or some is to overcome the trials. And it's a sense of humility to bring you down so low that you cannot even stand it, that you cannot even help but to cry to God. Not to anybody else, but to God alone. Because God knows what your path is going to be like. Either you're going to be overcoming and understand the stakes that you're in, and understand to the point where you actually see the pure truth, that nobody else on the planet that will rescue you or anything else but God. Because in a long term of words, you cannot describe eternity. For example, every single being here on earth will not even try to explain eternity. Eternity is something way beyond infinity. Infinity, it means on the inside. Eternity, that means inside and outside. Which means it cannot be even uttered or utterly explained. Not even properly. Anyways, beautiful ones, thank you for your time and patience. Please forgive me for making this video too long. Of course, it is the creator's choice, and it is also your choice if you want to watch it whenever you get comfortable, without me or anybody else forcing you to do so. Once again, it is your freedom, your will, that is on the line. So, may you all do it at your own risk, at your own purpose that God has designed for you. And this is Walk With
God alone, here to share the truth and spread the amazing message. As usual, I will say Stealth Squad out, stay peaceful and stealthy. I shall see you all. Interestingly royal and loyal knights that you are. Of the walk and fight in the sight of faith. And I wish you all, when all is lost, it can be also be found. Stay strong, all of you out there that are struggling with a lot of darkness in your life. May you see the magnificent, flourishing light that God is in your life. Even as hard as it gets when you are an adult. For children, for a child, it is easier to be a child. But God has always many ways to show you the absolute truth. He will dispel all those illusions and He will make you see again. Wherever you are, either it's nighttime, good night for you, sweet dreams, and wherever you are, if it's a daytime, may you have a pleasant, flourishing day like a blooming flower. Anyways, I shall see you all next time. Or whenever. Forever. We all shall stay stealthy.